they adopt. Well, the issues discussed here related to different levels, different linguistic levels. We start with the first, with the main sample, which is Hezbollah. I mean, it has been chosen because of its ecology, the way the two channels have dealt with this organization, and you know the story of this party. And the two channels have a certain strategy in tackling the news related to many organizations. You know, CDA is a type of discourse that is highly influenced by the social power, dominance, abuse. It discusses such matters. We have certain strategies related to ideology, related to two channels. First, we are going to deal with what are the main concerns of the CDA. Usually it focuses on social issues, I mean linguistic issues, but with the impact of the social side, the relations of power and dominance, and tries to establish this relation between culture and society and how dominance and power play an essential role in directing certain ideologies. Well, we have certain figures in this field. We have Van Dyke, we have Willard, Fairclough. Those figures have great contributions to this field. The study has suggested an eclectic model for the analysis of the reports that have been chosen in the two channels to shed the light on the levels and the strategies have been adopted in tackling the news in the two channels. So I start with the linguistic level, mainly with the syntactic one, and we have, you know, certain issues related to this level, which is classification, the way of presenting the news in these two channels. Sometimes they try to fabricate certain news just to direct the ideologies or the ideas of the receivers or the audience in a certain direction, just to serve their own aims. So the classification is one of the syntactic tools that could serve such ideologies in which we can hide certain things. For example, we say that the butler murdered the detective, or the detective was murdered by the butler, but here we mention who is the doer of the action. In classification, usually the doer is kept, not mentioned, for a certain purpose, or a certain ideology. And we have these changes. The subject of the active shifts to be the object of the passive. This is in the classification, and the object of the active tends to be the subject of the. And see the addition of the preposition by, and this is in most of these news have been blocked for certain purposes. We have also nominalization, which is a matter of changing the verb or changing the verbs into nouns. Again, to omit the agent, the identifying, suggesting, and find concepts instead of the agents, and continuing and equal power relations between the speaker and the sender and the receiver. Well, modality is defined as the way in which the meaning of the clause is qualified to the decision of the speaker about the propriety of the proposition. Here, modality is one of the tools syntactically employed or exploited by writers in these channels for certain purposes, and they aim to achieve certain actions, permission, obligation, violation. They are exploited or employed in a way that, again, serves their own ideology. We have also the semantic level. We have the negative lexicalization, the kind of use of the words in such use, because this strategy aims to show the A group and the outer group. You know, the A group is related to the positive side, and the outer group is related to the negative side, and how do they employ these two things, the positive and the negative. Yeah, for example, we have suicide, bomber, jihad, resistance, fear, militants or militia. These negative choice of lectures have certain aims. Yeah. And the disclaimer, which is a kind of the ideological against strategy. We have here one example in which we have nothing against the black spots, so and so. We can see the choice of the words here. They try to pretend to make it believe that they have nothing negative against certain persons or ideas who are out of the group, and they try to abolish their own language with such lectures. And the rhetorical level, the hyperbole and the exploitment of this literary, we can say, device in these use. For again, certain purposes of describing certain events or actions, terrorist attacks, and the nuclear, the Holocaust, these incidents, well-known incidents happening to certain societies or ethnics. We have also the employment of the metaphor, and this is a kind of strategy used by those two channels with different perspectives to achieve, again, the ideologies they have in their own minds. We have the ideological level, and which is the main engine that pushes the leaders of the channels and media to achieve their own aims with certain strategies. Yeah. We can say that the ideological discourse analysis is related also to the ideological sequela and the negative comparison between the outer group and the inner group as opposite and with the two groups. We can see that the ideological polarization. Here we have four possibilities for the ideological sequela. We emphasize positive things about us, the inner group. Emphasize negative things about them, the outer group. They emphasize negative things about us, and we emphasize positive things about them. So we can see how certain strategies are adopted by any group to show they are the group, but with polite and diplomatic strategies and ways using or employing certain linguistic features to achieve their own aims. This is part of the percentages the study has come out with related to CNA and Al Jazeera English. Actually, we have a model. I tried my best to move the model to the PowerPoint, but I didn't manage with my colleague Abad. We have suggested an eclectic model in which we have included these levels, the linguistic, syntactic, semantic, and the ideological strategies, and the ideological sequence, and the details of these levels. We have here analysis of the different reports of the two channels, CNN and Al Jazeera English. We try to check the application of the linguistic realizations of devices used in the, for example, here the passive voice, the attack was carried out by two members. You see that, as I said, the application of the passive voice for certain purposes, they try to hide and to refer implicitly to certain organizations or people to put them in a case of accusation, but indirectly. It was carried out by two members of the Iran-linked Lebanese organization. They have achieved different aims in this, for example, news, a report in which they have tried to make a link between Iran and the organization of Hezbollah, and they try to say that both have certain relations. These relations could be described as related to terrorism, but they have tried their own best to write the reports in a way that making the two parts, I mean Iran as a country and the Hezbollah as an organization or party, to be under the attack and to be accused of such attacks here and there. The study has come out with certain percentages related to the syntactic level, the classicalization, nominalization, and the modality, and the semantic level, the negative lexicalization, and the rhetorical level. In both channels, the application of the linguistic devices were different. Well, how long time do I have?
Just like that.
Yeah. You know, moving to mention the details of the semantic level or the rhetorical level and syntactic takes time. We can see certain titles, the terrorist organization here is by Washington to refer to Hezbollah. The thing which gives the audience the idea that the group is related to terrorism. Heavily armed militia, we have extremism, militants, we have bitter opposition from Sunnis. Bulgaria blamed Hezbollah in first attack, yet EU still won't call the group terrorist. We can see that the choice of the lexical representation of these descriptions to certain organizations, exactly, I mean, Hezbollah as a sample. We have in the rhetorical level the heart of Europe in a most awkward and revealing situation as American, the heart of Europe. Here they try to make a kind of accusation and a kind of ideology against such party with such title and with such efforts and with such great amount of the use of words related to terrorism and strategies that make such organizations as entitled or made as extremes or terrorists. We have also some percentages related to CNN and Jazeera. Related to the reports, finally the study has come up with some conclusions related to the idea that we have certain ideologies adopted by the two channels. They try to adopt certain identities. They reflect certain policies. They try to convince their own audience, their own followers, with certain ideas related to such organizations or countries. They have certain propositions in their minds. They want to convince the other by such reports. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dr. Qasem. Thank you for this informative presentation, actually. And as you have noticed, that it is a critical discourse analysis of new reports concerning Hezbollah in two global TV channels, namely CNN and Al Jazeera. It aims to explore the linguistic structures and to show various ideologies, actually. It deals with grammar structures as well as semantic level and many other levels. And you notice also that Dr. Qasem talks about how they depend on propaganda, and in order to make a positive self-presentation of what he had mentioned about the inner group and outer group, and the other thing about the negative presentation of the outer group. And now I think that it's time for the discussion. Now the door is open for your discussion if you'd like to ask any question or comment. Yes, please, Dr. Diya. Anyone else, please, just to mention now the name, Dr. Diya, and then we'll begin asking, okay? Yes, Dr. Abbas. Who else, please? Yes, Mr. Majid. Okay? Okay. Yes, please, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Qasem, for this eye-opening topic and controversial one. My first question is that CDI practitioners are always being accused of cherry pickers in terms of objectivity, okay, whether they are objective or not. So my question is, how did you go about your data collection? Do you have a particular period? And as we know, the CNN and Al Jazeera, they are more influenced by political stances. So how do you consider that the time span, or how do you collected your data in a particular time, and how much is the size of the data? Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Dr. You know, CDA studies looks for the negative presentation in this course. And I think this is one of the reasons why we search such topics, that we have a negative representation. Concerning the subjectivity you started with, well, this is one of the main weaknesses of the CDA, but we try to bridge this weakness, this gap, by making qualitative and quantitative studies. So the quantitative will be a kind of supporting factor to the qualitative study. We have certain reports of the two channels. Surely most channels all over the world, they have certain policy, and you know, in the Western countries, also in the Arab countries, they have certain courses, and it is related also, you know, to money, right? Concerning CNN, you know, we know the amount of liberty or freedom in America, but still they have certain courses, they have certain organizations that lead or fund these channels. So we can't, they are totally free channels to write the way they like. They have certain ideologies to follow, and they have certain aims. And they are leading some countries to lead, leading the world by channels and fabricated news.
Yeah, I mean, how far you can generalize your own conclusion? So, because sometimes, just imagine in our college, sometimes I have issues about my college. Sometimes I'm in favor, and sometimes I'm against our college. So, but someone can attack me when I'm against my college, rather than selecting the time when I'm in favor of it. So this is what I mean. So the amount of data you tackled or investigated, is it comprehensive in a way that we can generalize?
Well, I think this is something relative. We can't say that this is something taken for granted that all the news reports are written in such a way. Yeah, it is related to the samples, the reports have been chosen. The person just may support such idea, but not 100%, we can say.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Qaddaiyah. Now, Dr. Abbas, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Qasem, for your informative presentation. The most interesting field in linguistics, maybe, is the critical discourse analysis. I think I have probably 2 points. The first point is related to maybe conceptualization and maybe even translating the term jihad, among others, I mean, jihad in particular. How can we manage using jihad, or are there any alternatives for jihad in middle discourse?
As a term?
As a term.
Well,
it has already been used negatively.
Negatively,
and
yeah.
it is used as a stigma for Muslims. My question is there any way to overcome such consequences or the negative consequences of usage of the word?
Well, I think this is related to me, the word. It is related to the other. How do they receive the word jihad, negatively or positively? And this is related to media itself. You know, in the Western countries, before some days or a week, we've seen an accident. And this is related to how the Western countries or some organizations look at Muslims. At the same time, the culture or the literature related to Muslims, one of them is the term or the expressions. For them, the word jihad or the term jihad could mean violence.
So it is a stigma for good and evil.
Yeah.
For Muslims.
Yeah.
My second point is related to the second chart, or second figure. The bar in pink never appears. Does that indicate anything?
Pardon?
The bar in figure 2. Your chart, in your chart of the second figure, there is a bar in pink, maybe, never appears in Al Jazeera discourse.
Yeah.
Does that indicate anything?
The figure, I think.
The figure.
The last.
Second figure.
Yeah.
Your last figure, maybe. There is somewhere in pink in CNN. Whereas there is no bar in pink with Al Jazeera discourse.
Yeah,
does that indicate anything? Because the whole bar is the same.
With the disappearance of this event fund, yeah, this is one of the here norm and value violation. You mean?
Maybe.
Yeah. And this is related, it could be related to the understanding of such terms we talked about concerning jihad and
So Jazeera always, respects norms and values. Does that indicate that the Jazeera is...
Well, we can see the support of exactly Jazeera, such channel. We see the kind of support for certain Islamic movements. So this could be positively employed to Muslims. I think such systematic and norm and value validation. For example, when they have talked about ISIS, they name it as, Dawla Islamiyya. And they have certain purposes other than saying that this is a terrorist movement. So there are, concerning the way they deal with such terms, such news, there are differences between the two channels. This could be one of them.
Thank you.
To comment on what Dr. Abbas said. Concerning the word jihad.
Yes.
In Western culture, even the translation of the word jihad, which is holy war, is negative because it is associated with the Crusades.
Yes.
And the Crusades in modern culture, even in modern literature, is something which is frowned upon, something which is useless.
Yes.
The word jihad originally wasn't negative at all because in the 1970s, when the CIA recruited Osama bin Laden to fight Russia when they occupied Afghanistan, he called his supporters Mujahideen, and they translated it in Life magazine and the others as freedom fighters. يعني أسامة بن لادن وربعه في ذلك الوقت اسمهم مقاتلو الحرية, because they want to free Afghanistan from the Russian occupation. But when Osama bin Laden turned against them, he turned into a mujahid / terrorist. So the term itself shape-shifted. It gained new connotations. It lost its original positive connotations. And the connotations were added by the media, by the way. They added these positive connotations. But when he turned, and frankly speaking, I think he turned because they told him to turn. They told him to turn. So the word mujahid became terrorist, a synonym to terrorist. So they changed terminology in the way they like, so that they would.
This is related to ideology.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Now, please, Mr. Majid.
Well, thank you very much indeed for this informative presentation. I was wondering, like what Dr. has mentioned about the validity of the results that you have, how valid the results of the readings are. This is something actually, it seems to me, it's controversial, number one. Number two, why is it always with discourse CDA we have to have an eclectic model? Is this always the case?
No, but you should have, whenever you go to a place and you have no knowledge about this way or this city, you need a map. You need a plan to follow. So the model will help you to...
I mean the eclectic one.
Is
it always like this? Is it always that I have to have so many things in doing the CDA? That's why you call it eclectic, right?
Yeah, because it has been chosen from different models. So it is eclectic, and you need to tackle certain issues in the data you have chosen. It is not a model. It is not one model. It has been chosen from different models. So it will be eclectic.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Dr. Qasem. It is really a controversial issue, actually, and I think that you are brave to tackle such issues and topics. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.